probably thinking, what about the future? I'd like to suggest to you, let your heart not be troubled. Each generation goes through this. For my generation, it was the Vietnam War, the assassination of John F. Kennedy and Martin Luther King. That defined our decade. There was a man named Captain Gerald Coffey. He returned from Vietnam. He had been a prisoner of war for 7 years. He was surprised to find out that Americans had lost faith in God, faith in themselves, and faith in their country. Yet it was that faith that kept him and his fellow POWs alive. Your challenge for your generation, basically, is the economy. I happen to have here, I've taken a sheet of paper. It's actually a blank sheet of paper. I'd like you to think of your life as a triangle in which there are 3 parts. You have a career that's escalating. You have education that's growing. Never stop learning, because life doesn't stop teaching. And the base of that triangle, if you will, is your family and your foundation. But I'd also like to suggest to you that in the center is God. I'm often reminded of a woman who had 2 12-year-old boys. One was an optimist and the other was a pessimist. And between the 2 of them, they were driving her nuts. She decided to take them to a psychologist. And she said, "Doc, can you balance them a little bit?" And he said, "No problem." He took the 12-year-old boy and put him in a room full of toys. Every kind of toy a 12-year-old kid would ever want. He said, "I'm going to get this guy." And he took the optimist and he put him in a room full of manure. An hour later, he came back, opened the door on the pessimist, and the kid was crying. He says, "Little boy, what are you so upset about?" "All these toys, I'm afraid I'll break one." He sighed, he gave up. But he knew in his heart that he had the optimist. He walked down the hall, he opened the door, the kid was giggling, he was having a great time. He says, "What are you so happy about?" "Can't fool me, there's got to be a pony someplace in all this horse." And my friends, it is our attitude that determines our altitude. You cannot steal second base if your foot is still on first. Failure is a stepping stone to success. It's based on your courage, your character, and your compassion for your fellow man. I know very little about St. Vincent, but I do know that at 19 he wanted to become a priest. Why? Because of the benefits of priesthood back then. Economic benefits. His aspirations were cut short because he was captured by Turks and sold into slavery for 2 years. Completely changed his attitude. He began to see the priesthood not as a career, but as a journey. He was inspired by God. You might be wondering what his triangle would be. I suggest it's faith, hope, and charity. Why would a business guy who's made a couple $100 grand be talking about faith? Why? Why not talk about the almighty dollar and the numbers? Here it is. Flip it over. What's on the other side? In God we trust. Maybe you're not convinced. Maybe you feel that God has abandoned you and the things that we've learned from St. Vincent don't apply today. I have a suggestion. Try going up in a perfectly good aircraft, 2,500 feet in the air, and jumping out, preferably with a parachute. I can assure you that within the 4, 6, 8 seconds you're waiting for the chute to open, you're going to find God. You're going to remember the prayers that St. Vincent's taught us. And so, my friends, let me close with this. When 9/11 hit, I was in Maryland looking out, watching the smoke from the Twin Towers. Next day, I tried to volunteer for the Army. They said, "We love you dearly, Major Clifford, but you're too old." So I became a volunteer fireman. 6 months later, we were on a training mission, and one of our captains was in a room like this. He was showing us how to use the hose and knock down the fire. When we were finished, we went up on the roof. One of the chiefs was trying to teach us how to ventilate. We were kind of laughing because the chief could not get the saw to work. And he was a full-timer with FDNY. Next thing I hear is, "Mayday, Mayday!" wondering, is this part of the exercise? Turns out the captain was with another fireman. He was trying to put the hose away. Out of the corner of his eye, he saw a woman driving very fast at him. Instinctively, he pushed the other fireman out of the way, saved his life, and they say he was dead before he hit the ground. He left a wife and 3 kids, one on the way, and Jesus said, "Greater love hath no man than to lay down his life for another." His tombstone read 1972-2002. My friends, in all the years of trying to find the meaning of my life, I have found that the meaning is to help others find their life the meaning. My friends, live the dash. Live the dash with compassion for your fellow man, courage and character. God bless you on your journey, and God bless St. John's University.